We are on to the second session by Professor Sejal Santosh Nimburkar. Professor Sejal Santosh Nimburkar is the Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, B&M Institute of Technology, Bengaluru. Sejal has 18 years of teaching, research, and industry experience. She has published a book entitled Web Recommendation Systems and has filed a patent on system and method for image analysis and summarization. Madam has around 26 publications to her credit in international journal and conferences. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, ma'am. So, I'll just share my PPT. So today my topic is recommendation system. So is it visible?
No, ma'am. You have to share this PPT.
Yeah, I have shared actually.
Not visible.
Now?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your introduction, ma'am. So I'll start with the recommender system. So and I'll go like this. We have introduction about the recommendation system. Then I will classify the systems. Then I'll talk about my research work where I have used some mathematical models. And then we'll go about visual image recommendations. I'll discuss applications and research issues. So when we will talk about the recommendation, it is like somebody you are telling that use this or you can purchase some items which this is good. So that is called recommendation. So here we will use in web, we will use mostly recommendation on web. So why we require recommendation on web is because we have huge amount of data, and then the challenging task is that search engine has to meet the online users requirement. So if user is searching any information, then user should get the correct information what he is looking for. So for that we have require recommendations. So then here why we require, because if I'm good at searching, any user is good at searching, then yes, but we have lots of information. So how to search, that is a big question here. So when I'll start searching unknown information, then I will not be having much information about the search query. So user will give improper input query, then it's such short query, because I will not be having much knowledge about the information which I'm looking for. And then user has lack of understanding about the info search query. And in the data, I already told you that there is a huge amount of data on web, and for that many unrelated information is also available. So how we have to make users satisfy about the its need. So that is the reason we require the web recommendation. So in the web recommendation, I will be talking about three type of recommendation. One is query, another one is web page, and the third one is image. So query recommendation in every day-to-day life we are using. So query recommendation is a technique to recommend related queries for the user's input query by finding association between queries from user search log. So I'll show you example here. So this I have taken from Google. So I have search here. You can see I gave the keyword. So this is my input query. BNMIT is my input query. And then when I will give it, it gives me some link about BNMIT, and it recommend me also about search related to BNMIT. So this is the recommendation. This is the query recommendation. Is DHI BNMIT, BNMIT scholarship, BNMIT placement. These are the query recommendation. Then the same one we can see in Yahoo also. So I just gave India. So it giving me recommendation India-China border standoff. Then India-China war, chat, news. So these are all the query recommendation which we are using in day-to-day life. Then we will use in e-commerce website also mostly every day, right? We will be looking for information, or we want to purchase some product, then we will be using this query recommendation even on e-commerce website. So I just gave Java. So it is giving me related information about Java. So it is Java programming book, Java Moz, Java for Dummies, many information it is giving. So I can select any of the query. Now I will show you here very interesting. It is Google personalized query recommendation. So I'll just play a video and then I'll explain. So you can see here it is blank now, and then some information here, some queries are given. So now I have pressed here D. So it is showing me some information about D, right? Now I will search the information about Virat Kohli. So it gives me information about Virat Kohli. So here Google will understand that I'm looking for, then next is Rohit Sharma. So now Google will understand that I'm looking for the cricketer. So when next time when I'll press D, it shows me Dhoni, Dinesh Karthik, Deepak Chahal, David, right? So these all are the cricketer. So this is called Google personalized query recommendation. And Google query recommendation is very powerful. We can see here, right? So these are the use cases I'm talking about the query recommendation. Then next comes web page recommendation. So here web page recommendation is to guide the user to visit the web page during the activity on the web, right? And we to do that we need prediction for the useful pattern of the user's navigation history. What do you mean by navigation history is I have searched Virat Kohli. Afterwards, Google is giving me more than 500 links. So I will click on the information which I felt that this is useful to me, right? So when I click there, that is my first navigation. Then maybe I will click on the some other link. So that is my second navigation. So that is called navigation history, and that will be stored in log file, right? Then to do this web, what is prediction is, web prediction is the possibility of visiting a web page by a user based on the history of earlier access web page is known as web prediction. So to recommend the web pages, we need first the web prediction, and then we will recommend it. And here also we will use web browsing behavior for the user, and then that can be useful for advertisement also. So many a time when you are searching, we will see that there will be always pop-up of some web page, right? So that is the advertisement. So this advertisement is also web page only, right? So that is called web page recommendation. So here this thing is used mainly, web page recommendation mainly used in web caching, behavior targeting, and predicting web user shopping behavior. So what do you mean by web caching is when any website you are visiting frequently, and then certain web page you will use multiple times. So that will be stored in the cache. So when the next time when you will browse on that same website, then your browsing will be fast. So that is called web caching. Then behavior targeting. That is what is your behavior. That always web browser understands, and then based on that it gives the advertisement. And then prediction of web user shopping behavior. These we are using in day-to-day life. So here I will show you web shopping behavior. So this is my account only on Google. So you can see the top category for you. So this is my personalized behavior here. So health and personal care, beauty, grocery, sports and fitness. So these four things, four category, I will be purchasing more from the Amazon. So that is why it is showing me here. Next is recommendation for you in grocery. So recently I have purchased this tea, ready-made tea, so that it is showing me that you have purchased this one and we are recommending you to purchase again. Then recommended item, other customer often buy again. So this is also recommendation. So if I'm here, this image is not clear. So here some berries I have purchased. So along with this, what I other customer are purchasing, that it is recommending to me. Next is image recommendation. So again, it is if you give any text, then the web engine should give you image as a output. So here also the because we have rapid growth in digital image, we have this difficulty, and that is the reason we require even image recommendation. So here we'll see example. This is on Google image. So if I give Apple, so what will happen here? See, Google has done in recommendation very advanced algorithms. So here Apple, if I'll tell, it is first classifying in red, logo, iPhone, wallpaper, fruit, clipboard, right? This is the classification. So if I'll click on red, then I will get all the images with red apple, right? So that is called image recommendation. Then we have Flickr search. So here also, see, if I have just put here in search button sun. So it is telling me that I wanted to search photo or the people or the group, right? So this is about the Flickr image recommendation. Then we have again image recommendation on e-commerce website. So I said Java programming book. My query is Java programming book. So it is giving me the detail as well as it is giving me the image of that book also. So this is the image recommendation. Now, based on the information which we use to recommend, we have classification of recommender system. So first one is content based. So here in content based, we will be having user item interaction. So we will use the user item interaction. What do I mean by user item interaction is when I'm searching on web, then if as a user, I will get some information or I will click some link or I will select some item or I will select some query. So that is called user item interaction. That item can be anything. It can be web page, it can be query, it can be image, anything. So if I have that interaction information and then if I'll make a model, then it is called content based method. Then we have collaborative filtering method. Under that we have model based and memory based. So here also we have user item interaction. But here we will take user item interaction in terms of metric representation. So we will be having a row as a user and a column as item. And then we will have the information about the user item interaction in terms of matrix. And then we will build model on that. Then it is called model based. And if we have same user item interaction, but we don't have any model, but we will find out the similarity between the user. Say I have purchased iPhone. Another user also has purchased iPhone. So we have similar taste, right? So when I will purchase some other item, the other user I can recommend that. I mean, your search engine will recommend that you can go for this item. So that is called user to user interaction or user item interaction. So that is memory based. And when third category is hybrid method. So it is mixed content based and collaborative filtering. When we will use, it is called hybrid method. So next I will start with my work. So I wanted to just show you here that any information related to user item or any log, if you will take, how you can convert into a mathematical model, you apply algorithm and you can recommend it. So I told about the log, query log, right? So query log is any user will give any query here. So here rentdirect.com is query, or I can say Java is one query, and I will have the information about the click URL. So when I will give this query, afterwards which URL I'm clicking, that information I will get it in the query log. So this is just a simple log file I have taken. So you can see here, this query I gave, but I say I have not clicked any URL on this, right? Here also staple.com I have not clicked, but here I have clicked some URL. So this information is useful to me, right? So based on this log, I have created query click graph and query text similarity graph. So I will show you here. So I have here users and then which query that user has. So that I have user query by part graph. So this user has search which query that information I have. So you can see here that this user has Q1 and this U1 has given Q2 this query. That means this Q1 and Q2 is related. Similarly, one more user has given this query Q1 and another is Q2. That means these two queries are related query. See, when I have shown you example about the Google and Yahoo search engine query recommendation. So I have to recommend query again, right? If I'm searching on Java, so related to Java, I have to again recommend the query itself. So I need to find out the relation between the queries. Then this is query click graph. So based on this information, I will get this query click graph. So here Q1 to Q2, you can see that 2 times it has happened because U1 U1 user also has clicked the same query and U4 also has clicked the same query. So in that case, I have here Q1 and Q2 is related. Similarly, we have Q2 and Q3 also related, right? So from this graph URL query bipartite graph, I have this query click graph, and the weight is how many times that query, if I'll give this query, how many times this user has clicked this URL, that information I am putting on the as a weight. Then now this is just the click information, but every time it is not same that if I have clicked the same URL, that means that this query is related. By mistake also sometimes I'll click wrong URL, right? So to separate that, we have used again query text similarity graph based on the Jaccard similarity. So here I just took Q1 and Q2 has some similarity and Q2 and Q5 has similarity. So by combining query click graph and the query text similarity graph, we have created this query relevance graph, right? So both we will combine here. So Q1 and Q2 here weight is 2 and here Q1 and Q2 weight is 3. So in the query relevance graph weight has become 5. So now once you create this graph, query relevance graph, then we have applied here depth first search. See, so it's very easy actually that I need to understand the information from the query log first. Then I just convert it into the graph and then simple depth first search algorithm we have applied, and then we have recommended top 5 results. So to do this, we have used AOL dataset. So this is freely available. So we had click-through information, that is the total query to URL information. We have 38 lakh. And then unique query was almost 14 lakh. Then URL were 4 lakh. And then we have to do the data cleaning because we have to keep only the English query only. So sometimes by mistake we will give question mark equal to some junk value when we will type by mistake. So that and all we have to filter it. So data cleaning we have done. And then we tested for 60 queries with different topics, shopping, computer, art, etc. And we have achieved 90% of accuracy for this algorithm. And the same graph, query relevance graph, can be used for even image. So we have image and tag or image and its description. So we can create a graph between image and tag, and that is your query relevance graph. And then we can apply same depth first search algorithm and we can recommend even image. And this experiment we have done on Flickr dataset. So I will show you some results. See here, we have compared this with Heat diffusion method. So if and this is QRG is our method. So if I'll give Java, it is giving me download Java, download. So these are the queries which I'm recommending, right? So this is the query based on my search log. correct? And for free music also, you can see that MIDI file, Broadway MIDI file, music download. These are the related queries. We have got it for this free music input query. So this is my input query, and here whatever I am showing on the third column, it is my recommended queries. Next, here in the previous work, we have just used the clicked information. That means if I have searched some query and if I have clicked some URL, that much information only we have considered. So next we have considered clicked and unclicked both URLs. So here we created the feedback session. So what do you mean by feedback session is, I have given some query, say bank exam. So this many search result, say Google is displaying for us. Then I will start with by looking at the first URL, second URL, third URL, and then after certain time I will just not see. So how we have created feedback session is, here I have visited this, I have just seen this URL, but I have not clicked on that. So that is the reason I am telling click sequence is 0. Then I have clicked on this URL. So click sequence is 1. So accordingly, wherever I have clicked the URL, it is 1. Other than everything is 0. So till the last click, this is 1 is the last click, is the feedback session. This is full is the feedback session. So in this feedback session, I have clicked information as well as unclicked information, right? Because this 000 is the unclicked information. So what we have done is, say I have given the bank exam as a input query. Then we will go to the user click through log here. Then we have created this feedback session, that is till the last click. So we have considered that. Afterwards, you find out, because see again I need to find out the similar words. See, my objective is to get the similar word or relevant word based on my input query, right? So always I will be talking about the relevant words here for the query recommendation. So I have created enrich document, that means whatever the important word from each URL here. So this is from the first URL, second. So here when I'll say this is from the first URL, second URL, like that till the last URL for all the feedback session, because I will get multiple feedback sessions. Say as a one user I have given bank exam as a query, then some other user also must have given bank exam as a query, right? So I'll get the multiple feedback session. So from this multiple feedback session, we have created the pseudo document, that is from whole this box I have converted only one box now. So important words I have taken. Then from that optimized pseudo document again, from the whole, all these pseudo document, when you combine, you will get the optimized pseudo document. Then on this, we have applied WebJacquard method. These all are the similarity measures. So WebJacquard, Web Overlap, WebDice, WebPMI, and WordNet similarity, and we found the related search. So here only one WebPMI is giving us the better result here. So that is what I have shown. So here enriched document contains frequent terms that appears in clicked and unclicked document. The pseudo document reflects both the relevant and irrelevant document to the user, and optimizes top term representing the user information need. And then we have created this data set by our own. So we have taken 95 students. We have given them the web browser. We have told them to search on the Google, and then we only gave them 50 queries also. For each user we gave 5 queries, and then top 50 search result from the Google we have shown them. Then we have collected the feedback session from there. So this is the statistics of the data. I'll just keep this. And then we have different models. We have tried it out, and then our RSR model is giving the better result here. So in the first one, I have just considered clicked information. In the second one, clicked and unclicked both the information, and we got better performance here. Now we'll move to the web page recommendation. So again, in web page recommendation also, we will get the same HTTP request example is the query log only, because here also I need to find out the sequence in which user have searched the information, right? So after one page, which one he has clicked, the next one, then the next one, so that helped me even to organize my web pages for any website also. So that is also one of the application. So I have just shown you here one example of HTTP request. So here this is the user, this is which time he has clicked and which page he has visited. This is 200 is the correct visited page, and this is the byte he has visited. And then we will call here one session. So once I here the concept comes as a session. So session is the amount of that in the certain amount of time, how many page the user have visited. So standard session timing is 30, but it doesn't make sense every time that one user will browse for 30 minutes, right? Or 30 seconds or 30 whatever. So that is the reason what we have done is we have created session by computing average visiting time on the web page. So how we have created, say this is A, B, C, D web page user have visited, and then this is the timestamp. So, and this timestamp is ordered by time. So in between these two time, what is the timestamp difference we have calculated, and the last page, whatever he has visited, for that we have just given the higher value to just identify this as a one session. And then based on that, we have created the session here rather than the fixed timing of the session. Then we have trained that session by using Markov models. So I will not go much in deep of Markov model and all. So then we have done here n classifier based on this Markov model. So till 4th level we have done here in nth order. So n was 4. Then we have mapped the session to n classifier. Then we have trained the session by using the PageRank algorithm. Then we have filtered using SVM, right? And then we recommended the next page by SVM. So here we took UOFS dataset and NASA dataset. And then again, every dataset when you collect it from the user browsing history, then we require pre-processing. So here also because we don't want to see here any image and all which he has browsed, we are mainly concentrating on the web pages. So whatever extension in the file we have .gif, capital GIF, then we have removed that. Then even status code we have taken only 200 because that is the correct status code. Other than that, it is one is redirect, one is failure, so that we have not considered. And then here almost NASA has 5 lakh data, so we just divided into a low, medium, and this is high. So UOFS is 10 lakh data. So we just want to see that if we have less data set as a user history, then how this algorithm works. We have medium data set and we have high. So that is the reason this NASA data set we have just bifurcated in two. One is low is 1 lakh, high medium is 3.5 lakhs approximately, and this is 10 lakh data. And then we have done cleaning and all. So I'll just leave this part. Then we have session identification with the traditional method. So we have total 5,000 session here 13,000, here 66,000, and then average session length was 4 to 5. That means this many number of page. Average session length when I'm talking about. And here I got 3.97 for the same one. Here it is reduced, here also it is reduced. Right? This is with our method by calculating the average time on web page. Then, and then we got good prediction accuracy, which I have not put here. So next, now in the previous work, we have considered user information which they have visited the pages. Now, if some pages user have never visited, so that is called new page problem, right? So how I'll recommend that if the user has not visited, then I will not collect that information in my web browser history, and then I can never recommend it. So how we have solved this problem is we created a user session graph. So again here we have created by using this web access sequence. These are the pages. So session 1 has visited P1, P2, P4, P5 and P9 page. So we have created the user session graph based on this web sequence, and the way it is updated, say P1 after P1, P2. So weight is 1. Then again in the next session, I got P1 and P2. So the weight is increased here. So that is how we have created the user session graph. And next, if I don't have that particular page in my user history, then we have computed the co-occurrence of domain term, because that page is there in my website, and then user has clicked some web page, and when we have to find out the relation between the two web pages, in that case we have found the co-occurrence between the domain terms, right? Co-occurrence of domain terms. This domain terms is in each website we have title and the small description about the web page. So from there you extract the information, and if two web page information is same, then I can say that these two web pages are related. So that is how we have considered the co-occurrence of domain term between the two web page, and then we found the link between these two web page. And then this again, for this data we have taken from Microsoft.com. This is available. So that is user navigation data from the Microsoft website, and that contains 292 unique web pages. This 37,000 user sessions and 641 total words and unique word from the web page, right? So this is how we have solved the problem of new page problem. That means that new page is not available in user history. Next is image recommendation. So here in image recommendation, we have to give this, all my work is based on the text query itself. So I have to give input as a query that is in terms of text. So now I'm giving here input as a text, and then I should find out the related information in the image, and my output is here is image, ranked image. So again we have used the annotated log. Annotated log means there is a image and there are some words that represent that image. So here first we have found the keywords relevance probability. So here we have used again Markov chain, and then absorptive Markov chain we have used. So first we have found the keyword relevance probability. That means when user will give any input query, what is the relation between the two keywords, that we have found for the user input query. Then aggregate Markov chain is whatever the tags are available in the annotated log, for all the tag we got the aggregate Markov chain. This is for the user query. This is for the Markov. This is for the tag, right? So now I should find out the relation between the input query and the tag. So that for that we have used aggregate absorbing Markov chain, and then we got state vector. So when you know about the Markov chain, this is the in between process of the Markov chain. So we have used here state vector for each image. Then we calculated the Markov distance, and output is ranked image we have given here. So this is in detail which formula, and so keyword relevance we have constructed. Then the next is aggregate Markov chain, how we have done, because again it's a huge, all the tag present in the log file we have constructed aggregate Markov chain. So if I'll just image and tag as a matrix, this is Markov chain, this we will construct as a matrix, then the computation is more, because I have to calculate n, it is power of n, right? So if I do this multiplication, then I will get huge computation. So for that we have used here eigenvalue, eigenvector, so that the computation is reduced for calculating the aggregate Markov chain. And then we have created the absorbing Markov chain to find out the relevant link between the keyword of the input and the annotated keyword in the data set. And then we have calculated the Markov distance, and then we have ranked the images. So here we took image annotation data from Washington University. So this is also available. So it has total 1,109 images with 20 different clusters. So they have given in terms of cluster itself, and each cluster has about 55 images. So now if I'll give here leafless tree. So first what has happened, these are two words, right? This is two words, leafless and trees is the two words. So this is my input query here. So first I need to find out the relation between the leafless and the tree. So I'll get some probability. Then I have already my AMC, aggregate Markov chain. I have for all the tags, and I have some probability. And then we will use the absorbing Markov chain, and then we'll find out the relation between this query and the tag, and then we will find out the distance, and then based on that we will give the output. So you can see this we have compared with Markov semantic indexing, MSI, and this is our method. So you can see here I have given leafless tree. So that means all the tree which I'll get as an output should not have any leaf, right? So but you can see here in this method the leaves are present. Here also it is present, but in our method we are not getting a single image with leaf, right? All images are leafless. Then the next work is we have used ANOVA cosine similarity. So this is all statistics we have used here in this work. So here we have collected data from Myntra.com. So we have crawled this data. I mean, this I have, I think, crawled in 2013-14, but now it is not allowing me to crawl any data. It is illegal. So I have around 5,500 images with its description. So proper description I have. So then, so here I'll just skip this part because it is crawling, parsing, and then we have created the database. Now here we need to, so this work in the previous one I should have a log file, right? Annotated log that for each image I should have some tagging. But if I want to start any new website and I want to give some recommendation, then how I should start? So for that, this ANOVA cosine similarity we have used. So we have a product website, then you crawl the data, you get the image and description, you parse it and you store it in the database. Then here we have used visual similarity. See, if I'll see two images together, then I can say what is the difference between two images as a human, but how machine will understand. So for that, we need to find out the visual similarity. So first, we have calculated that similarity by taking the features of the image and the terms present in the image, and then we found the ANOVA p-value, and then we found the visual synonyms. So here I'll show you the example. What do you mean by visual synonyms? So if here say I'll give black word, then black comes under dark gray, right? So these are the visual synonyms. We have got it by using the feature, and we have used the term similarity. So features, what we have calculated is a Harlick feature, Tamura feature, Geber, and color, right? So these are the features we have used. And then we have term with us, that is the description of the product. And then we computed the p-value by using the ANOVA method. So then I will get the proper information that visually these two images are similar. Why I require this is when the description of the product is not correct or the tag is not correct for the image, then I will not get correct information if I just use normal text-based search. So because to solve that problem, we require visual similar information also. So that we have got it from ANOVA method. And then when you give as a text-based search, it will search for the again, it will go and retrieve from the database where it is from the visual synonyms, it will go and match. It will generate its own query, and that query it will find out in the database, and then related to that query, it gives the output as a image. So here you can see that dark formal cert. So what it does is, dark it will take separate one, formal it takes separate one, cert, and then it will find out the visual synonyms for all the words. Again, internally it creates the queries with these words, and wherever in the database it found similar type of queries, that gives us a output. So this output, the first row is that we have compared iLike method, where they have used the case test. That is also one statistics method they have used. So here you can see we have given dark formal shirt, but here this is bright shirt also I'm getting. But when we will talk about our result, we are getting all the dark colors here. And then similarly we gave Disney flip flop. So here this is Disney, here this is not a Disney, here also it is not Disney with the iLike method, but here you can see in our, we will get all the Disney slippers. Next, now this I talked about my work and how I have used some mathematical model and statistical model to get the text-based search. But now you can see in Myntra app, we have this is the search result, right? I mean search icon. So if I give, it will tell me that I can take a photo from the camera gallery. So instead of giving the text-based search, I can use image-based search also. So my image recommendation with input as image, and that is called visual recommendation. So what I'll see, it gives me the recommendation. Meaning is that, so if I'll take the camera, because now say many a time we will use the camera and then we'll just take the photo and then we wanted to search. So in that case, it is called visual recommendation. So this is the practical example of visual recommendation. So now I have not worked on that, but I found very good paper on that, where deep learning based large scale visual recommendation and search for e-commerce, and this is published by Flipkart employee, right? So what how they have done. So here we will see visual similarity challenges. So they have in the database these all images available. So here see, both the images are same, but here human face is there, but here human face is not there, right? So but then still we should find out that both are same. Here also it is the same thing. Here this image is with the stripes. So what is happening? Few thickness is different here, right? This top you can see here, it is a full picture, right? But I should just identify this top, and here this one is given only with the top, right? So this is the challenges in visual similarity when you are giving input as image, right? So now what they have done is they have used deep learning and found the feature vector here. So to give that, they gave one query image, one positive image and one negative image, and then they have applied the deep learning method and they got the features here. Now, how actually it works? Now we see we have to think in terms of the practical application. Then maybe more than 50 to 60 lakhs images are available on Flipkart website. So the computation time is more, right? So, and then user don't have patience that when you give query, it should give me result in millisecond. So in that case, we have to use here distributed computing. So what they have done is this FV service is feature vector service. So that feature vector they have done on multiple workstation. And then when you give input, then it will here it extracts the information. Here also it extracts the information, and then indexer is there. We have feature vector storage. They have used MapReduce, and then they will find out by k nearest neighbor. They will find out the relation between the input query and whatever the queries, whatever the item database present with them, and then they will give the output here. So you can see they have given this query as an input and giving the similar images, but the problem here is the computation cost. So that is the reason in Flipkart you cannot see a still image recommendation based on input as an image, but it is present in even Amazon website and even in Myntra, right? So now one more thing is, if you can able to read the text in the image, and then if you try to search based on the text image, then I think it is little easy, right? Rather than just extracting the features and all. But how quick you can read the text from the image is again a challenging task that we have seen in the previous webinar, right? That sir has explained about the extracting of text from the image and video, right? So this also can be further researched by the researcher, right? So this is an open problem that you just get the text present on the image, and then based on that you can search. So we will discuss a few application, and then I'll tell you from where you will get the data and all. So first one is movie recommendation. So movie recommendation is based on the previously watched movie. So again, this is our account what we are watching the movie. So in that, see, I am getting the recommended movie. So I will get many tabs. Telugu movie, Hindi movie, English movie, like that. But this, it gives me recommended movie based on my previously watched movie, right? So it has to my movie recommendation system has to understand that which type of movie I like to watch. So how you can do is, here we have a few data set available on Kaggle. So it is one is the prediction of movie success or flop before its release. So you have to predict that. For that, Kaggle has this data set, TMDB data set. So you can go and search and see the description of this data set. Next is for recommendation based on the genre, actor, director, producer, or rating. We have this Netflix, Prime Video, Airtel TV. These are the practical applications, right? So now on Kaggle again, we have Movie Lens dataset, which has all the information about the movie, right? It has 45,000 movie dataset here, correct? So those who want to do project or those who want to do research, they can get this dataset from this Kaggle link. Then YouTube videos are also available. So this data is video title, channel title, publish time, tag information, views, like, dislike, description. All this information is available. So these are the features we can use and you can predict, right? Then even Netflix movie and TV show data is also available to start with movie recommendation. Then the next one is music recommendation. So we have recommendation, we can recommend based on genre, singer, instrument, right? So we have some practical example here is Wink Music, JioSaavn, Spotify, SoundCloud. So we have again on Kaggle, you will get the data set of Spotify music genre list and song and track, and even Indian Hindi film music also you will get it. This is all Kishore Kumar song, you will get it here. The information about that. So you can see here the here it is a release date, music director, song type, all the informations are available in this data set. So this is one again example I will show from my phone. So one day I played Gayatri Mantra and then it is showing me recommended for you. It's Shiv Chalisa. See all the recommendation it's giving me about the all Aarti, right? So it is recommendation based on the previously played music. Next is news recommendation. So these all are the application I'm talking about. So student can take up any application and they can try out the recommendations, right? And then we have news or article recommendations. So we have Google News, Yahoo News, many news channels are there. And when you want to search, you can search on IEEE Explore, many places where you can search the article. So we have again for this here I require little different data set is again browser history, that from which page to which page any user is browsing, right? So that information we require. So that is also available on Kaggle. So it is user browser history, right? So it is first one is the link, then first visiting time, then date and time, that is on timestamp, then last visited time, how many times he has visited that link. All the information is available in the data, so we can use this data and we can go for the news recommendation. So again I'll show you the example. So if you just open google.com, it is article for you. So every day I am going and checking the COVID information in Bangalore, so that is why it is recommending me on this as a first news, right? So this is the practical example. Here we have Trivago. So this many users are using this for hotel recommendation, right, or recommendation for anything. So here it gives, see, our recommendations. Then it recommend based on the rating and recommended. So somebody will tell that yes, it is good, recommended. So it takes the information about the rating and it recommend. Then it recommend based on price and recommendation. Then some will write, right, it's the best price for this hotel. So it taking the price as well as somebody is recommending that yes, you can go and stay there. So for that it is price and recommendation, then rating and price only. So these are the different categories given for Trivago. Then here is the TripAdvisor. So I'll show you here one video where TripAdvisor will, without any query, it gives me search or it gives me recommendations, right? So it is TripAdvisor search based on location. So you can see here, see, I just click where to go, I say nearby. So I am sitting at home and I took, so it is showing, because I am in Bangalore, it is showing me Bangalore photo, then explore nearby places. So I have nearby Barbecue Nation, Absolute Barbecue. So it is giving me this information. So without any text information, I just give location, then also it gives me recommendations, right? So why I am showing you these different applications is based on even location, we can give recommendation. So next is TripAdvisor search. So I told Goa. See here, when I'll give Goa here, it is telling me Goa, India, Goa Marriott Resort and Spa. These are frequent search. That is why it is giving me this information. But I'm not giving here Goa, India. I just gave Goa. So what it does is, I'll show you. Here, see, I gave Goa. So it is giving me all the category: hotel, holiday homes, restaurants, things to do. So till hotel, it is giving me all the hotels which is present in Goa. Holiday homes also, it is giving me Goa, everything, whatever is there in the Goa. But when I come to restaurant, this is giving me from the United Kingdom, right? So what this search is doing is, it is just searching based on the keyword Goa. But if I'll give, and then here even in things to do, it is telling me something in Malaysia, right? Even tours and ticket, it is showing me something in Malaysia. So what it is doing is, this simple search is Goa. When I have the simple Goa word, then it is searching the information just Goa. But if I'll give Goa, India, then all the information, whatever I'll get it here as a hotel, holiday home, tours, it gives me correct information. So when you give simple keyword, and when so that is little advanced search, right? So when I tell Goa, India, that means I'm getting the information from the Goa, India, based on the location wise. Then next is, so this is simple search application I have shown. How further, whatever the information is present on this TripAdvisor, we can use and we can construct one more recommendation on top of that search engine. So now this one more paper I just took as a reference is the trip outfit advisor, location based it's recommending. So every time any user wants to go somewhere, they have problem is what cloth I should take, right? So for that, if somebody is recommending, it's well and good, so I will save my time. So recommendation, basically we are saving time here. So what they have done is, they took all the photo from the TripAdvisor. Then they took the location also along with this. Then they got the clothing attribute. They got the location of these photos. Then they correlated clothing and location, right, by using this algorithm. And then they got the location oriented clothing recommendations. So how your recommendation look like? If I want to go to Tibet, then I should have all the warm clothes. If I want to go to some beach, then I should have this type of clothes, right? So this is expected result of the trip outfit advisor. So not much research is done in this area basically. So any researcher can take up this. Next is, in real world, in companies also, even this recommendation is very useful, and they are looking for the recommender systems. So here this is on IBM code pattern. So you can go to this developer.ibm.com and pattern. You can get the technology wise problem statement here. So I will show you few recommender system challenges which they have posted on IBM website. So here one is recommended, they have posted on May 4th, 2020. So overview will be given, which data you should use, some references will be given. They will tell you which cloud you can use. You can deploy your code on their cloud, you can run and see, right? So those who want to develop any recommender system to start with, this is a good platform. So this was one. Then build a recommender with Apache Spark, right? So here they have posted on April 3rd, 2020. So it's still an open challenge. You can go. Then build a visual insurance assistance to help process claim, right? So this also can be used. Here one more is build recommendation engine using Apache Spark. They have given, and this is also published on June 15, right? So these are few open challenges which company has posted, so you can go about that. Next is, I'll discuss about the research issue. So when anyone wants to develop the recommender system, then first thing is scalability. Scalability is because we have seen that in the weblog you will have millions of data, right? And if you want to use that, then your model should be capable of handling that much data. And then next is user preference. We have is prone to change over the period of time. Today I am purchasing one item. After 2 months I feel that no, I should purchase this. That means my preference is changing. So you have to construct a recommendation model which can accommodate this user preference change also over the time. Then it is, see, we have already a search engine, right? So if any recommender system we wanted to build, then it should be on the top of the search engine. So we will create the model and we will deploy on that search engine. So you have deploy that your recommendation system on that search engine. Then if you once the knowledge for that recommendation has been extracted, and there are still concerned that how frequently you will change the recommendation, right? So because you have to always give a user the updated information. So how your model is handling that? Then handling heterogeneity in the data, and then balancing of model complexity and scalability for exponential growth of the parameter. And then you can refer this my web book on web recommendation system. Thank you. I think I have completed a little early.
I think, yeah, there is no much, there are no questions, Sejal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 2 questions now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I can.
Yeah. The one question is big data prediction in analytics. How to apply it, madam?
Big data prediction in analytics. Yeah, you can see for prediction, you can use big data, right? I mean, prediction algorithm we can use. Because when you talk about big data, it has the 5S, right? It is, so that should be considered, how you can consider, and then you can use the prediction algorithm on that.
So which algorithm is preferable for MapReduce?
I have never worked on MapReduce, so I'm not sure about that. Because we have worked on the log files. So that's what in company, that whatever example I have shown, they have used it in company, and I never worked on MapReduce.
Okay, I think they are the two questions that have been asked. So on behalf of DNMIT, because Sejal is also one among them, I thank you for accepting our invitation.
No need. Thank you.
Thank you, Sejal.
Thank you.